holidays. Merry Christmas to all of the AirGun geeks out there. First, we got to take care of some business. First, I want to say thank you very much to our sponsors for 2025. Donnie FL, when priority is silence, that is the key. So make sure you guys check out DonnieFL.com. Oh, Bill and our best friend here over at High Pressure Pneumatics. Tom, Merry Christmas to the family. I know you guys had a great year, and I really appreciate you guys definitely supporting the podcast for many, many years.
And one of the many really good brick and mortar airgun stores in America today.
Correct. Also, we got Predator International, the main portal for a lot of the projectiles that come in, primarily importing JSB pellets. Very exciting. And a local shop that's got a little bit of my heart because I work there occasionally. Palm Beach Airguns, the only retail-facing store here in hot Florida to where you can come and touch the Airguns and give me a handshake. I want to say everyone who came by and traveled through Florida and stopped in the shop just to say hi and are very excited about the podcast. Appreciate it. And so does Joel, definitely.
Yeah, just be careful when you touch Pat, though. You never know what you're going to get.
Iguana stuff.
But again, PBA is another really good brick and mortar store here in America. Love to have their support for our 2025 season.
Definitely. So make sure you guys check us out in the new year on our new sponsors and all those that are legacy sponsors and see who we have new.
So, Pat, while you've been out wandering around chasing down rogue iguanas and saving the state of Florida from their scourge, I went on a little odyssey. I purchased an old Crossman 760 off of eBay, which was fraught with peril from the beginning. It was one of those things where some guy who owned whether he was just doing estate sales or whatever, he had no idea what the airgun was. So he went and copied and pasted a description from some other ad off of eBay. And what he said in the words was that it was a pre-plastic bolt. So the 760 had a plastic bolt around the third generation, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Our guests will be able to clarify this for us, but the one I had when I was a boy, I think was either a 75 or a 76. And I think that that had the brass bolt. And that's what I was really after. But anyway, I get this gun in the mail and it doesn't look anything like the pictures. It really didn't. You had to pump it up really quick, like give it 3 quick pumps in order to get the valve to seal. And then you could get, some amount of performance out of it, but it was never repeatable.
So you were airgun catfished? Would that be wise to say?
So his original asking price on this gun was $100.
Ooh.
And I thought, wow, that's way too high. So I offered him 50.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to actually go around eBay in order for me to get it. Because
really?
eBay will no longer ship airguns to California. They're somehow afraid of legal action. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So anyway, we figure it out. I get it here. I don't know that it's not what he listed at all. I get it. I'm like, hey man, this is coming right back to you because it's clearly not what you said it was. And your pictures are so bad, I couldn't tell. And he's like, well, what'll it take for you to keep it? And I said, well, give it to me for $25 and I'll try to get it working again. And that's what happened. And, it's not in bad condition. But it's got some, the bluing in a couple of areas, which I don't really think it's bluing. I think it's just black oxide. But it's thin in a couple of spaces, but it's a good shooter now that I've rebuilt the valve and everything else in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that really kind of leads us into our guest today, Pat, because this guy has a channel that has just such a wide spectrum of interests that I think overlap with a lot of what our viewers like. This guy has got a tremendous background, not only in air guns, but also BB guns, vintage 22, vintage optics,
Wow.
pocket knives, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to bring this guy in, and I always tease him because whenever he starts his videos on YouTube, he says, "Hey, it's Nibs again." I said, "Hey, is that your name?" He says, No, it's just my intro." But I jab him about it all the time. But we've got Nibs from Walnut and Steel, and I'm going to put up our holiday decorations, Pat, and then we're going to bring Nibs in and have him tell us a little bit about his channel. And then we're going to have a really, really good conversation with our friend from are you Central? Is he Central New York or is he upstate New York? Let's find out. Let's get it straight from
Find out.
Nibs, are you Central New York or is that upstate New York?
They call it Central New York. I live near Syracuse, which is pretty smack right in the middle of the state here, just outside of Syracuse.
Right off Lake Oneida as well, aren't you?
My house is on the south side of Oneida Lake. Yes.
Man, you must never get snow there.
Well, we've gotten about 40 inches so far, and it isn't even winter yet. So, yeah.
And folks, when we're recording this, it's not even mid-December yet. Getting close.
No.
But,
I mean, we hit 40 degrees down here in Florida. I mean, Central Florida, but
yeah, it's like 14 right now and dropping. So
oof. No, you can keep it. That's why I moved from Ohio to Florida.
No, I know. I've been wanting to move out of New York for a while now. You used to live up this way, right, Bill?
I did. I lived. I used to work in the wire mills up in the Camden, Rome, New York area.
Okay, yeah, I work up that way quite a bit.
And then I worked for Remington Arms for a while. That was one of the coolest experiences I ever had in my professional career.
Yeah.
As far as it just bridging so much of what I was interested in. To have been exposed to that manufacturing environment when it was really at its kind of peak before it really, after the whole trigger issue with the 700s,
okay,
that company really started to kind of lose control financially, I think.
Yeah, I really love old Remington 22s. I've got quite a few. So,
oh, and I love my 870 pumps.
Yep.
When I was a very, very young buck, I did maintenance for a range in Connecticut.
Okay.
And it was a very highbrow gun club. This gun club catered to stockbrokers, lawyers, everything right out of New York City.
Right.
Because my town in Danbury, Connecticut was right over the line.
Okay.
So these guys would come and shoot sporting clays at the range that I maintained.
Yeah.
And I got to shoot sporting clays for free, which is honestly the only way I could afford it at that time in my life was if it was free. And I will walk up to the fence post for the lane that I was on, and there would just be a row of Belgian Brownings and Perazzis and really, really expensive shotguns. And then my Walmart 870 leaning up against the rail. But man,
so I assume you know what a Browning superposed is then, right?
Oh, yeah.
I have my dad's superposed that he bought when I was probably about 4 years old back in the late 60s. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's a nice gun. I've never shot competitive trap, but I've shot, just playing around by myself, and I've shot 50 straight with that thing several times. So,
damn. I did finally get myself a Belgian Browning. It is a very nice gun.
Yeah.
I bought it used. I'll be honest. I didn't have the level of baller money to go out and buy a brand new Belgian Browning, but it's still a beautifully made firearm.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to get out. We actually have a decent sporting clay range near me, only about 40 miles away. Believe it or not, there are actually ways to get actually firearms out in the public in California. Believe it or not.
Another cool Browning, before we get away from the Brownings, another cool Browning, Belgium Browning that I have is a Browning Medalist 22 pistol. Still in the presentation case. When I bought it, it looked like it hadn't ever been fired. It was a first year production from 1962, and it's a nice gun. It's pretty cool.
So I shot bullseye for many years, probably 20, 25 years shooting bench rust.
Yeah.
And I had tried a couple of different 22s, and I kept coming back to the Buckmark. I had custom built Buckmarks with German walnut grips on them that matched all my other guns. And I'll tell you what, man, I couldn't beat those for reliability and accuracy. They were just really sweet 22 pistols.
Yeah.
Now, how far does the Medalist differ from the Buckmark in terms of construction?
Well, I have I have seen the Buckmarks. They're fairly similar as far as the action goes, but it's got a whole different barrel, and it's just really refined and very nice super checkered walnut grips, and just very pretty looking. But I don't think it's much different internally as far as the Buckmark, but I'm not really sure because I've never owned a Buckmark, so except for the airgun Buckmark.
Yeah.
But I shot my Medalist for a couple years in bullseye shooting, and then I found a Supermatic Citation high standard from the 50s with a 10-inch barrel, and that thing I've been shooting that for probably 10 or 15 years now. And the Browning, I just take it out and wipe it down with a diaper every once in a while with some with some oil, and I do take it out and shoot it every once in a while.
Very nice. I actually, after when I moved to California, I stopped shooting bullseye because the only place I could shoot it is like 45 miles away. And it was just kind of long to go for a bullseye match. But during that time, I did manage to score 2 Smith & Wesson Model 41s.
I've been chasing one of those for a while. I haven't gotten one yet.
I have a very early serial number that is likely late 50s.
Yeah.
Like 58, 59. And then I have one that is like in the late 60s. And the one from the late 60s is definitely in better condition. And it's got that vintage old bluing from Smith & Wesson that is so deep that it like you can feel the light getting dimmed in the room. You take that thing out of the safe because it's just so inky black and just gorgeous gloss on it. But I have not shot a target with that yet. And I think I need to fix that. I think I need to get up. We have a little range here in Scotts Valley that I think I need to get up there and punch some holes in paper, which is actually kind of how you and I met, getting into that a little bit. There was a contest, and both of us have shot some pretty nice targets.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And this is put on by your channel.
Yes.
Which is up here. That's your logo. And Hasbro, which is over here.
Yeah. And
Hillbilly Up as well. That's down here.
Yes.
You 3 guys have put on this contest. And I gotta tell you, it was almost as fun getting ready for it as it was actually shooting it.
Yeah.
And it's still going on. So if anybody's interested in checking that out, this is going to drop before the holiday season hits us.
Yeah, we're actually running it through the end of January just to give people a chance to shoot it with their their Christmas gifts that they might get on Christmas Day or whatever. Kids get Red Riders and adults get Red Riders and other BB guns, and give people a chance. And we've got some really nice prizes we're going to give away the end of January. We're going to so Hillbilly Up does a live stream every Saturday night. In the last live stream in January, whatever that day is, we're going to do a big giveaway and prize drawing and everything. So that'll be a lot of fun.
So, Pat, there's still time for you to get involved in this. And
So what weapons do you get to use? Just BB guns?
No, we have categories. We have categories for BB guns, pellet guns, PCPs at 25 yards, 22 long rifles at 50 yards, BB and pellet pistols at 5 yards. There's
wow,
seniors and youth and women, separate categories. And
yeah, I was definitely competitive in the youth women's.
well, yeah. For those few moments you identify as XYZ. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's a California thing you wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
that's why I went with it for a minute. That's cool. That's definitely, yep. I got all excited about it when Bill was telling me about it, and well,
I really appreciated Bill's take on it too, with the the little extra theme he put on it with.
Well, I had to come up with some way because it, when you look at this target, you're like
shooting elves. Yeah,
I got to shoot elves and Santa. So I had to come up with a backstory to make that more, or actually less morally objectable in my mind. So my first one was, we heard that the elves shot John Wick's dog.
That's right.
And for that reason, we had to go get some retribution. And what was the other one? Gosh, I forget.
Yeah, I can't remember the other one you did, but it was funny.
It was Rudolph. They had shot Rudolph.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had shot Rudolph, and we had to go get one for him too. So, but yeah, I have a third video in that series that's going to come out this week, which is me shooting off the bags. And what's funny is the target that I shot on video was a very good target, but this one was actually a perfect score. This was an ace score, and it was off the bags, of course. Mm-hmm. But it was at the 5 yards. But it was with a Crossman 1701P, which that's as air guns go.
Yeah.
Until you get into like the Hammerellis and those more exotic 10-meter pistols.
Yeah,
that Crossman's about as accurate as you get.
I love my 1701P for sure.
Oh yeah, I actually ended up with two of them. The first one, Amazon had shipped it to me. This was years ago, and they were using a newer delivery company called On Track, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And On Track said they delivered it. And I looked and looked. I looked all over the property. And we had a smaller house at the time. And I'm like, look, I'm telling you, that's not here. I've even looked in the woods. I've looked everywhere. It's not here.
Right.
So Amazon said, okay, don't worry about it. We'll send you another one. So they sent me another one. And that one shows up. Everything's fine. It worked great. Like 4 weeks later, all of a sudden, this other 1701 shows up in my driveway. And the box is, battered and everything, but the product inside was fine. I'm like, I tried to contact Amazon about it, and they really don't want to talk to you on the phone.
No,
they want no part of that. And I tried finding a way to say, hey, do you want me to send this back to you? And finally, I got some lady to talk to me, and she's like, no, just keep it. It's okay. Hey, thanks.
Wow.
But nice. Yeah, they're both very nice guns, and I forget where I got the wood grips on them, but I did notice yours was a little bit different than mine. Yeah,
mine's still all original except for the red dot on it. So
yeah, the triggers on both of them are very, very good, but I think they were actually the better trigger that you could get in that pistol platform anyway, which a lot of the elements of that pistol are pretty common to a lot of the other Crossmans as well.
Yeah. So the 1701P, you can buy that whole trigger assembly. Well, at least you could. I don't know now that Daisy's taken over at Crossman if you can still get that. But a year ago, you could actually buy the 1701P grip assembly for like $70, and that would go over onto a 1377 or any other of those guns that have that grip type. And I actually do have a 1322 that I built into a buck rail carbine and put one of those trigger assemblies on it, and that thing is just a sweet shooting gun.
Very nice. Now you've had some interaction with Terry at Buck Rail as well.
Oh yeah.
Terry's actually been on the podcast here. We interviewed him.
He and I text fairly often. I haven't texted him in a little while, but whenever I get an idea about something or he has an idea to see if something would be interesting, he texts me too. So, and they regularly send me stuff that they're developing to try out. I just got two new things from them last month and to try out, and pretty cool stuff. So
I have them both.
That's the for the Vapor Max.
The Vapor Max. This is the adapter, and this is uni suppressor.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just dropped my video about that adapter, and I used one of my so he made me special custom made suppressors with my walnut and steel, just walnut and steel spiraled around the barrel of the suppressor. So he made me like 3 or 4 of them, different sizes and stuff. So that's a lot of fun. And we go back. I was actually just looking at it. We go back about 3 or 4 years now. So we've been working. He was like just had like 5 or 6 SKUs on his website when I started working with him, and now he's, hundreds of machines and half a dozen or more employees. I don't even know how many he's got now, but he's running SLS machines and all kinds of crazy stuff. So
yeah, the quality of that guy's 3D printing is definitely a level or 2 above.
Yeah, even when he was doing filament printing only, his quality was top notch.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's doing the SLS printing, and some of that stuff you can't tell that it's not injection molded. It looks that good. It looks like it's injection molded plastic.
So I actually have a product that I've been running on my filament machine.
Okay.
And I've been running it in TPU, which TPU is a very soft, almost rubber-like filament.
Yeah.
And it's really good at just being super durable. It has some of the highest layer-to-layer bond strength of any filament material.
Okay.
But it is literally, I designed it for the Alpha, but then I realized this could literally go on just about anything. And you don't need any tools at all. It literally just it snaps onto the Picatinny rail, and it is a probe holder. And this probe holder has a leg above the other ones I've done. It's got a cap molded right into it that you can stick on the end, so the whole probe is protected.
Wow.
From dirt, debris, anything else. And then when you need it, you just pop the cap off, pull the probe out. It's right there, right where you need it. Because Nibs, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
I'll get all the way to the range. I'll unpack my bottle. I'll unpack my gun, get my pellets all set up, all ready to go. And I check the air level. I'm like, let me get some air in this. And
where's the probe?
It's at home on my bench, right behind Nibs on the shelf there. That's where it is every single time.
Every time.
I like to keep my probes with the gun. And it was funny because while I was doing this, I was watching you had the probe sticking right out of the Alpha.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do that. I can't do
So I was actually going to ask you, because I mean, I've only been doing air guns for maybe about 5 years or so now.
One of these is going to be in your goodie box that you got coming too, so don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, I've literally only been doing air guns as passionately as I have been for maybe 5 years. I had a couple of air guns before that, a Ruger Airhawk and a 760 and a daisy and whatnot. But I learned a lot from watching your channel. I was going to ask you about that as far as leaving the probe in the gun. Is that actually bad for it, or is that taboo? Or I've been doing that.
I don't think it's a taboo. I know the guy from Umarex.
Yeah.
What was his name, Pat?
Are you talking about Iden?
Yes,
Iden Hansen.
He does the same thing with his Notos. He leaves the probe in there all the time.
Yep.
That's what I did, and I just put a cap on it.
Here's what I'll say. Anytime you have a Buna N O-ring in a fixed cavity for any length of time,
right,
it will eventually take a set.
Yeah, start flattening out.
It will lose its ability to hold the pressure against the radius, and it will just cause them to deteriorate a little faster.
Gotcha.
Now, is that going to mean that it lasts 3 years instead of 5 years? I don't know. It all depends on
I don't leave them in there like indefinitely. I will pull them out and put some grease on them and stuff, and service them, but stuff like that. But I usually just leave them in the gun, sit them on the rack, and you see my rack over here.
Which one? Which one, Nibs?
Yeah. So this one, this one that's I think I'm looking at it right. This one that's on the bench is my really old stuff, and then this one that's over the other side here is older stuff, and then the one down below is a mix of newer and older stuff, and
the ones that are hanging right behind your head are the really, really new stuff.
Yeah. So this one up top here is a lot of daisies and a lot of barras and stuff like that. Some older 880s, some older daisies, and some newer daisies. All the new barra, like pump action guns and stuff, pump ups and stuff. But the ones over here, right here. So see this Red Rider sign?
Yeah.
Behind that are like some really antique guns, like a Quackenbush #5 and a Quackenbush #4 and a Swedish Excellent from like 1905.
Wow.
And some stuff like that, and some really old daisies, a Daisy Model B. There's a Daisy Model B up in there. And a few other old ones like that.
Well, I think one of the recent videos you did, I saw you were hanging your Alpha by the buttstock right behind where your head is.
Yeah.
Like there's like a little rod or something. You were hanging that from the.
So this where's it at? This pipe that runs across the top of the grass. So this is actually just a screenshot, but this pipe that runs across, that's actually a heat pipe for we have hot water baseboard heat in the house. And there's 2 bedrooms above my garage here. So that's the heat pipe running to the bedroom above the garage. And it's actually got insulation wrapped around it. And I have 2 or 3 air guns hanging off of there. My Hatsan Jet 2 and my Beeman 2027 that I built into a buck rail carbine, and a few others. So the what do you call it? The Air Venturi Alpha was a great fit for going up there as well.
I bet I've really enjoyed my Alpha so far.
Yeah, I was watching your video before we started up, or rewatching your video that you did about 2 weeks ago, before we started up here tonight. And I actually just took mine out yesterday for the first time and did, other than I did a shot string in the garage with it earlier in the week and put a video up with that. But yesterday I took it out for the first time to shoot, and that video will be coming up in a couple days or so. But it did really well. I only shot it with a red dot on it, and I was shooting really good groups at 25 yards, even with just a red dot. So, and it was shooting Crossman hollow points. So, and 1/2-inch groups at 25 yards with a red dot and Crossman hollow points. I can't complain about that.
No, one bit.
I recently got some Olympia wad cutters out of Poland.
Yeah.
And I'm very suspicious that a very well-known U.S. importer of pellets from Europe is behind bringing those in. But I haven't confirmed that, so I don't want to mention their name. But they were actually what I shot this perfect target with. They were one of the nicest wad cutters I've experienced in a while. And I've got some pellets that are coming. I think tomorrow they're due here from what is it? Champions Corner.
Yeah.
And I got them because I really, if I'm going to shoot for a score or shoot for something that could be disputed, I love that really tight print.
Punch a hole
on there. That makes it so easy. You know, you can drop a slug in there and there's no ambiguity at all. And I also, Pat, if you want a few of these printed on cardstock, let me know. I'll get them in the mail to you, because printing them on cardstock makes it cut so much better.
Yep, for sure.
That and a wad cutter on a cardboard backer. That's what I used to do for bullseye as well.
You don't even need to ask; you can just send.
Okay, got it.
I've done probably half a dozen different air guns at that target, and my only perfect one I did with my Daisy 853 using Meister Coogan 7 green wad cutters. So, and every one of them was a headshot. So,
and that brings us to another topic. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah,
but there is a level up of BB gun. And this is true steel BB gun that I didn't even know exist. And that was the 499B from Crossman, which their marketing material says it's the most accurate BB gun ever.
I've never shot anything like it, honestly. I've never shot another BB gun that even comes close. I can share a picture with you guys of it if you want to put that up.
Bring it on.
Let me give that to you. You can share that one. So they've been making this, the 499B, since I don't know, the early 90s. I believe they had a 499 and then a 499A, and now the 499B. Mine actually dates from about 1995. It actually is 1995. Still all original. I bought it for $40 at a gun show about 2 years ago, and it's just an incredible gun. It's 7 yards in my garage shooting off my rest. I can shoot 5 BBs into the same hole every time I do it. It's not even fair. So Hasbro has a special category just for people shooting a 499B, because the first time we did a challenge like this, people were shooting the 499B and blowing everybody else out of the water. So he made a special category for just that one gun. So it's it's pretty special. This one's got the little shooting emblem in the stock, which is kind of nice. The newer ones don't have that. I was really, really pleasantly surprised to find that at the gun show, and the guy didn't have it marked for a price, and I figured he was going to want $200 for it, and he says, "How about $40?"
Oh,
yeah.
I would have probably broken a nail trying to get my wallet out of my pocket.
Yep. It's got one little tiny chip on the bottom corner of the stock, and
that adds character.
Yeah. So apparently the guy that I bought this from was actually a coach for a youth shooting team back in the 90s and early 2000s, and the shooting team disbanded, and this was one of his last guns from his shooting time back when he was a youth shooting coach.
Yeah.
And, this was his own gun that he shot training the youth from back then. So it's got a lot of pretty cool history too. So I kind of geek out about that sort of stuff too. I like to know a little bit of backstory if I can about things. And so that one that one's kind of special for me too. So just because of the backstory that I do know about it, and bought it from the original owner, bought it in brand new when it was, brand new. The only thing he did to it was put a little bit of orange paint on the safety so the kids could see that his gun was or was not unsafe. He specifically showed me that. You can see it right there on the side of the gun.
Yeah. Now, for those that are listening to the podcast and not watching it, this 499B looks very much like it shares a lot of parts heritage with the original Red Ryder. All of those steel stampings look suspiciously similar to the Red Ryder, but there's a big difference in the sighting system. This has got a true peep with micrometer adjustments on it and a hooded front sight with changeable apertures.
Yeah.
It also has such a high tolerance smooth barrel that when you drop a BB, and you usually want to use the precision BBs with this guy to get the most out of it, when you put a BB in the muzzle, because you only load one at a time, it's not like the rattle trap that the Red Ryder was. It's one shot, and when you put it in the barrel, it takes it a good 8 seconds for it to get down, because it fits so perfectly in that tube that it literally has to wait for the air to get out of the way for it to make its way down. And you'll hear the little click when it finally gets down to the bolt.
Yeah, there's a magnet at the base of the barrel, and it will click into the magnet.
Yeah.
That's
but
what you hear.
There's a delay, right, from when you drop the BB.
Oh yeah, yeah. At least a few seconds, 3 or 4 at least. Yeah,
and maybe that's how you know how good of a unit you got. If it's an 8-second delay, it's probably a pretty good.
The more precise ground your BBs are, the longer it takes too. Like the Daisy match grade BBs, and we talked about this before we started up. The Hornady, what they used to call the Black Diamonds, are what shoot in my gun, absolutely the best. The Daisies are a very close second, but the Hornady Black Diamonds are by far, the best BBs for that gun. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's uncanny. I've shot this against, I've actually done challenges where I shot this against my Walther LGR, and it shot.
That's no joke.
It shot equally as well shooting BBs as my Walther LGR shooting, $20 a tin pellets. So,
wow.
So there is a guy, Tom. I can't remember his last name. His first name is Tom. He makes a handmade version of this gun. He buys the actions from Daisy, and he does his own stocks. He will polish the whole gun for you. He'll polish the handle as well.
Yeah.
Or you can get them in just black. He does laser engraving on the gun. Got a couple of different patterns. He's got some beautiful laser engraved wood as well. But they are, you can buy it with just the regular power plant as it comes from Daisy, or you can buy his tuned up version.
Yeah.
Which is belting out BBs at about 450 feet per second.
Wow.
And it's, you might give up a little bit of accuracy at that velocity, but they're a heck of a good time ripping hands in half, which is another thing that Nibs is kind of famous for, Pat. He loves to eviscerate pop cans.
So if you see up here in my picture right here where my finger is right now, that is actually a mobile that I have made out of cans that I've shot in half. There's probably 20 or 30 cans right there that are hanging off of wire in a little mobile that I've built. just something fun.
So Pat, the contest, at least as I understand it, that originally come from Hasbro?
The 50 shot can cut.
Yeah.
Originally, that came from Shane Bruce at Resto Mod Daisy. But Hasbro did a challenge with it. He did a challenge with it last year and kind of more popularized it. I don't know if you're familiar with Shane Bruce's channel,
No.
Resto Mod Daisy. He does some, you gotta at least once go check out his channel. He does some absolutely amazing work with Daisy BB guns, making curly maple custom made stocks, fire blue in the metal, and upgrading the actions and he's done a lot of really neat custom work. And check out that channel, Resto Mod Daisy, all one word. And you'll be amazed at some of the woodwork he's done. He uses only the finest curly maple to, upgrade old Red Riders, and he'll even customize the newer daisies too. But a lot of people send him an old, rusty old, 1938 from back in the 70s or 60s, and he'll completely strip them down, fire blue all the metal, build new stocks. He builds custom forends for them. He's built ones that are like Mannlicher's type stocks with the wood all the way out to the end.
Oh my God.
Just every way you could possibly see a BB gun get modified, he's done it. And just
so, Pat, the game with this can cut is you just take a regular soda can and you're trying to shoot it as accurate as you can in a line. But as Nibs will allude when he gets into one of these and you're watching him talk his way through it, there's some strategy in that as well.
Yeah.
He's trying to shoot it initially from the sides, so that
he better slice that way.
Displaces as much metal as he can on the side cuts, and then of course the whole can starts turning around, so it's not held rigidly. It's able to move in space, so you can kind of watch him noodle on what he's going to plan his next shot. So there's an element of accuracy in this as well. So you're wasting shots if you're not removing metal with each one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this strategic look at, how do I get this can cut into, and you have to actually cut it in half. Now, Nibs, I've always wondered, do you lose points for targeting the heavy duty rim at the bottom, trying to get force in there to pull it apart?
No, I've done that in the past when I think I've got it to where it's just a little sliver hanging. Instead of try to hit that sliver and waste 8 or 10 shots trying to hit that last little sliver, I will hit that bottom heavy part of it just to try to rip it off. And nobody frowns upon that, so it's fun. It's just part of the.
I think what we need to do, Nibs, we need to get Pat a true BB gun.
Okay.
Because I now have one. My 760 is shooting really well.
Yeah.
So I think Pat and I are going to have to do a can cut challenge here on the podcast, and for bragging rights of who can get a can severed with the least amount of BBs.
Well, listen, I can do this. I actually have probably 4 or 5 760s in my garage right now that are similar vintage to the one you have. If one of you two guys send me Pat's address, I will send him one. I will make sure it's up and running and resealed and nice, ready to go.
Sounds like fun. I had a 2100 Crossman that I used to terrorize the squirrels with all the time when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
So that was.
Just do me a little favor, Nibs. If it's reasonably accurate, would you nick up and damage the muzzle a little bit before you get it?
Because every time we get in the shooting competitions, Bill's always suck it.
There'll be a little
sabotage you.
There'll be a little something extra in it for you, Nibs. If you can help.
Use these BBs. Only these.
And you said you were looking for a brass bolt model, right?
I am. That was really what I was after when I got this one, but
I might be able to help you out with that too.
That would be spectacular. That would be spectacular. And you've got a care package coming from me.
Perfect.
Which is one of these, my Alpha probe holders, which also work on the Nodos or any gun that takes a probe that's 8mm. It'll work. But also, I promise you a bunch of my can holders that I developed for Target Forge, which are just, the reason I made them was because I was so unhappy with purpose-made can holders that would only hold like a pop can.
Yeah.
I wanted one that could hold any kind of can, whether it was full of soda or empty, spam cans, soup cans, anything. This thing is, it's like a piranha.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it holds, it's all made out of U.S. sourced stainless steel spring wire. It's remarkably durable. And it literally, it bites on that can.
So does the can hang, or does it come up from the bottom?
It hangs.
Okay, that's cool.
And it will, you can use full soda cans with it. You just hook the two probe tips in the hole in the tab, top tab, and it'll hold all day there.
Okay.
But I did a can cut actually with my Crown Mark 1 on a spam can. And that, that's a little bit thicker wall.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a much more powerful air gun. So that was a heck of a lot of fun to tear one of those up. And,
so one of the other challenges we've done in the past, so the challenge that you were talking about was shooting the can in half in 50 shots or less. And whoever shoots it with the least amount of shots, was the winner. We did another challenge where we did it for time, and it didn't matter how many shots you took, but in the least amount of time doing it. And I actually won that challenge with my Daisy model. Was it an 840? It's a single stroke pneumatic version kind of the 880 type of platform.
Now that would be Pat's game. That would play right to Pat's. That's his superpower. If he were a Marvel character, that would be Pat's superpower. He is the most insanely good and fast instinctive shooter I've ever seen. I've run.
If you can find a Daisy model 840 in working condition, that is just an absolute blast to shoot. It has like a 100 BB reservoir on it, and you can just, as fast as you can cock it and pump it once, you can fire it. And I cut the can in half in less than 4 minutes. It was like 3 minutes and 51 seconds or something like that. All the other guys were doing it in 5-6 minutes, and that was a good time.
That is way too fun.
Yeah.
So Nibs,
Yes.
I have this image in my head because it seems to me it's at least once a week you're releasing a oh my gosh, look, I got all these new knives video on your channel. And most of the time you state that you found them at local antique shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
While you're driving around for work, are there antique shops on your routes that you're like, oh, I got to stop here for lunch?
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, so I travel. So I actually recently switched jobs. The company I worked for before, I worked for 32 years. And for 30 of those years, I was an on-the-road technician servicing radio systems. And I recently switched from, my company was a subcontractor, and I switched to working directly for the manufacturer of all those radio systems.
Well, that explains the Motorola shirt that I saw.
Yeah. And it was, it wasn't the reason I did it, but it actually, so now the manufacturer actually has a local repair presence as well, but we service other counties than the company that I left. So I had exhausted all of the good stuff at the other the other counties. So now I've got a whole new hunt of antique stores and gun stores and stuff to go into and find new stuff. So it's the thrill of the hunt, I guess you could say. I really started going to the antique stores looking for old BB guns and stuff and old pellet guns. And And then I started getting more into the knives. I collected knives for years before, and I kind of got away from it. And now I've recently started getting back into it. And but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. I find less BB guns and a lot more knives, but every once in a while I do run across an old Daisy. I've got a Daisy, not the original version, but like the third revision Daisy Red Ryder from the late 40s that I found in a antique store at, one of the customers we were servicing. And I just happened to drive by and I said, oh, there's an antique store. I better stop and look in there. And yeah, it's like so the least I've seen one of those sell for is like $250, $300. And I got that one for $80. So, and it's in like pristine condition.
Wow. So fun story. Well, actually kind of parts of it aren't fun, but right at when 9/11 happened,
yeah,
we had the company I worked for was in the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. And we had a meeting with Motorola in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a super important meeting to the tiny pissant company I worked for.
Yeah.
Which was like maybe a $30 million a year company. Compared to Motorola, that's like they spend that in toilet paper.
Yeah, yeah.
in any given year. So we were really freaking out about this meeting, and it was I was actually the application engineer on that project, and we could not get a flight to Miami. All the planes were grounded.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, do we drive? What are we going to do? And they booked us a train, an Amtrak train to go to Miami. Absolutely the worst train ride. And I love trains. Okay. I will ride a train all day long, but this was the worst Amtrak experience getting from Penn Station all the way down to Miami. It was 24 hours of hell. They didn't book us sleeping cars or anything. They booked us regular seats.
So
we get down there and, the meeting is like later that day. I'm like, man, this was a bad choice. But yeah, that was my Motorola story. We actually ended up winning that contract, so it all ended up pretty well.
Was that actually their what they call the plantation facility down there?
I believe it was.
Yeah, I've been down there a few times for trainings and stuff.
Yeah, I used to actually make a lot of the back in the 90s, 2000s, early 2000s. Yep. There was an effort. This was before GPS was really prevalent. Mm-hmm. There was a system called True Position.
Yeah.
That could use the time signals from multiple cells to triangulate the location of a cell phone. So that was instrumental to the early 911 via cell positioning systems. And I did all of the test fixtures for those.
Wow. Nice.
For those systems when they originally did the circuit boards. Circuit boards were like, each circuit board was $21,000. They were huge, but they would go into the 19-inch racks, and all of the radio equipment would go into that. But yeah, I did all the test fixtures for those. That was a heck of a lot of fun. I mean, now the cell phone knows where it's at just from its GPS signal, and it's usually relaying that every time it talks anyway, so they know exactly where you are. But fun stuff, I'll tell you. Fun stuff. And it's funny how much overlap Nibs and I actually had from a position standpoint for a good length of time. Now Pat was actually originally right there in the Cincinnati area, right, Pat? Cincinnati?
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, it's all the same, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, stop it. It is absolutely not. No. Two different football teams, both suck, but nonetheless, I think the Bengals are better than the Browns.
I thought they only had one football team. I thought it was the Ohio State Buckeyes.
True. Yeah, OU. Yes, Ohio University. No, don't say that. That's how you get in trouble. No, it's the Ohio State University. Yeah. And they kicked Michigan's butt this year. I will say that.
Delineated from the Ohio State, Miami, right?
Yeah, I can't be a Miami fan.
Mhm.
No. Oh, I do have to say again that Ohio State kicked butt against Michigan so bad that their coach got in a lot of trouble. Big scandal. Biggest scandal in Michigan State history since the big scandal at the Michigan State. So I'll just say that because Ohio State knows how to play football properly. And if we were to headbutt refs, we would probably get a penalty. But apparently, if you're from Michigan, it's okay. But yet they want to say that
They need every chance.
Ohio State paid the refs off. Not to get into the I like college football over any other football. I think all other football is scripted. Yes, I said it, but I don't think college football is. And they played their butt. I think it to go into that. They said that Michigan didn't play their first string because they said Ohio State didn't deserve it. Well, that showed because the only one that scored was their kicker, and I'll leave it at that. Done. Okay. No, it was a good game. It was a slaughter, but it was a good game. So no, it was fun. No, during 9/11, I was doing security when I heard all of that happened, and then 6 months after that, I went to the police academy and did all that fun stuff for about 16, 17 years. So I played with Motorola phone, or Motorola radios and all that fun stuff, and the flip phone and all that jazz. Yeah, 6 inches I think is as close as the cell phone could track, because I remember having to do something. It was third year on the job. We had to track a phone, and that took almost a court order. I think we had to almost get a court order to do that. And he says the closest we can get is 6 inches. I go, well, how much closer do we have to get? But it took forever. Now they just go bing, bing, bing. He's right here.
Oh, yeah, the Patriot Act fixed all that for them.
Yeah. I'll leave that alone.
Well, we're ready to bring this plane in for a landing, gentlemen. Nibs, I want to thank you very much for agreeing to come on and share some time with the AirGun Geeks.
It's a great chat with you guys.
And we're going to put up the links to the target for the Hasbro Challenge, both with the audio version and the YouTube version as well, which does appear on 2 channels. We simulcast the AirGun Geeks video version, both on the Target Forge channel and on the rapidly growing AirGun Geeks channel, which Pat
I'll have to look that one up because I'm only subscribed to Target Forge right now. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Pat is the owner of that channel.
Okay.
He just makes me do all the work.
He's what makes me look good. He makes what all of us look good and sound good. So, but
you were talking about the Brass Bolt 760. I just put a picture up there if you want to share that one before we take off. So this is one of my pride and joys right here. This is a first revision with the square notch in the handle.
And that looks like real wood stock too.
Yeah, this is a 1966, maybe 65 vintage Craftsman 760. So they only made this one for like 50,000 units, and then they determined that the way that
they were cracking, right?
Yeah, so the metal actually went into the wood, and when it would get torqued, it would actually split the wood. And so they made it the other way around, where there was the wood would go into the metal, and so it wouldn't split anymore. So these ones are very hard to find, and one of my generous subscribers actually sold that to me for a very reasonable price.
Wow.
And it's like absolutely mint. There's not a scratch on it. It's just a beautiful gun. And as far as I can tell, it doesn't look like it's ever been taken apart either. And it still shoots like brand new. So,
wow, that's remarkable to think. I mean, everybody kind of knocks on Craftsman.
Yeah.
They were a low cost gun. I mean, they still are. I mean, you can go get a brand new 760 for well under $100.
Yeah. About 50 bucks. Yeah.
The fact that these older guns, I think, were built a little better, but they were still right in the same price range for people.
Yeah.
And to think that a gun in that price point could make it this far in time and still work at all.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my PCPs have to be completely refreshed every year or two.
Yeah.
I have a Crossman 102, which dates back to, best I can date it, to the early 30s. And I mean, I had to rebuild it, but it still works great. And I have a Crossman 101 that is from like the late 40s, and that one still works good. And it's a lot of fun. I've got pretty much all of the Crossman pump up guns from the from the mid 20s up until, I'm missing a couple of really rare ones, but I've got most of the key ones that everybody looks for. The one that I don't have yet is a Model 104. I've chased a couple of those, and that's the magazine fed version of the original gun that is in 177. They usually go for about $1,000 or more when they do sell on eBay. And to get one that's in working condition, you're going to pay a lot more. So, but they're not hard to rebuild. So anyway, enough rambling. It was really great chatting with you guys. I really appreciate you letting me be on.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you. Nice meeting you.
And we wish you a very warm and wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas to you and your family, and everyone that you care about. So that's from the AirGun Geeks, and from me and from Pat.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you guys too.
And Happy New Year.
You probably won't have any snow for Christmas like me, but
well, if I
be in my dreams, I don't want snow.
If I get snow here this early, hell will have frozen over. But it has happened. We actually, in 2018, 2019, we had a pretty nasty snowstorm here. The only one we've had since I've lived here, which is 7 years.
Yep.
So 1 out of 7 years, we get a pretty epic storm. The issue is the redwood forests are so tall here that when you do get a heavy snow, with the low angle of the sun in the winter, it takes forever to get that stuff melted because the sun never sees it.
Wow.
So all of those roads through the mountains and stuff just stay frozen and icy and snowy for a month.
I think I already said it earlier. We're at about 40 inches already, and it isn't even technically winter yet. So
we have no equipment for snow removal here. I mean, zero. When I was in Norfolk for the Navy, we had a 3-inch snowstorm, and they closed the city down for 3 days waiting for it to melt because they didn't have anything to plow the roads with. So that's funny.
That is funny. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
if you want to have me on again some other time next year,
definitely. Oh yeah, we definitely have to touch on the BB side of this. This is some pretty cool stuff, and promote all the channels, and maybe we can get a fourth person on. And really,
I feel a can cut challenge coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the 50 or less, or
the Carnival machine gun? Yeah.
Do you like the 50 or less, or the timed version better? You like the sounds of which one of those do you like better?
Well, if I want to be competitive, I got to go with the 50 or less.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm going to be able to be on par with him. If it's speed, then he's got me every time.
Well, yeah. I used to play with the BB guns when I worked for Pyramid Air on the range, and I'd put old pellet tins all the way out to 40 yards and be lobbing them in, and I couldn't go back to work till I hit them all in one run. So challenge accepted.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun either way, but I think I do like the 50 or less because, it's.
And I have those can holders. I'll put them on my T-poster.
I'll be trying them out. So the most recent, I've been using the can hats. I don't know if you saw those. They're pretty good.
That's why I wanted to send you mine, just to see. Yeah. I wanted you to have that to say, well, I wonder what Nibs would think of these.
I'll give them my fair assessment for sure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for taking time to listen and watch us here at the AirGun Geeks Podcast. We'll be celebrating our 5th anniversary, 5 years audibly and 3
That was-
years
that was 10,
video.
by the way.
That's 5 years, covering both sides. 5. There we go. Flashing. You didn't do the special effect for 5 years. But as far as video, we're what, 3 years now, Bill?
Yep.
Time flies. So yeah, 3 years on YouTube and 5 years audibly. I want to thank everyone for listening, sending emails this year in 2025, encouraging us, giving us topics. We try and cover all the unnormal stuff that everyone else covers. So if you got any ideas, make sure that you send us any type of requests, whether you liked it or didn't like it. All of you Apple podcasters out there, make sure you give us 5 stars and leave a comment. Same with Spotify. Again, you can email us at airgungeeks@gmail.com. And well, it's been a blast. I want to wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all of the above.
Yep.
Happy New Year. And like always, stay geeky.